All right. Ready to get started, guys?
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
this right here.
I think we're ready to rock and roll. First off, just want to welcome everybody to the show. We're excited to have two rock stars on this show and have the opportunity to get to interview them, learn more about their business, and ultimately provide a bunch of value for everybody watching. And hopefully everybody gets to learn something.
Absolutely.
So what we really want to talk about, well, first off, Mike and Kristin, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Why don't you guys go ahead and tell everybody about yourself? Can you just give us an introduction, where you're at now, your market, all about your business right now?
I'll start. I'm Mike Blake, the team leader of the Blake team. We're here in Rochester, Michigan. We just recently acquired a new building, and we're in the build-out process, and we're hoping to be active and open in the new location within about 12 months. So we rented some temporary office space right down the street, so we will be right next to our new building.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yep. I'm Kristin. I am one of Mike's agents. I've been with him on the team for 4 years now. And I also work hand in hand with him on the administrative side of things with marketing and our social media and everything like that.
Sweet. And so what market you guys in?
So our market is, I'd say 400 and up, and we're just north of Detroit. So we cover a pretty broad area. We cover 3 counties. And I think what I really like about our market, it really, there's first-time buyer, there's second and third-time buyer, and there's the luxury market. So we kind of cover all aspects of that, being our central location.
Okay. All right. And what's your current team volume, and where are you guys at now with that?
Yeah. So last year we closed 192 transactions at about 55 million.
Cool. Cool. And what's your team setup? Just drilling you with questions.
So last year we had about 6 buyers agents, myself, and 3 admins.
Okay.
So this year we've increased the agent count. We probably have.
There's 10 of us now, including Mike and I. And then we just we have 2 more starting within about the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So we're really looking. We have a lot of new agents, so we really are getting them ramped up, and hopefully they'll hit the ground running.
So these are brand new agents, green agents?
Green. We hire 90% of all of our agents that we hire are green agents. So we take them from the ground, train them the way that we want them. Takes a little bit longer, but it pays off in the long run.
Yeah. Any particular reason for that?
You know, I've noticed that agents that have been in the business sometimes have bad habits that are really hard to break. So it's not that we won't take existing agents. It's just I think that the ones who are brand new are a little bit easier to train.
You can really train them and mold them to do business the way that your team does business. So you guys are all in uniform, right?
Exactly. You know, we do hire the sweet spot is people or agents that have been in the industry for just 1 year and were struggling on their own. So they've kind of seen on their own how difficult it is. So I still call those green agents though, because most of them haven't done maybe 1 or 2 transactions.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe they didn't receive the right opportunity with their current brokerage or their current setup. So it's better for them to be in a team environment, right? So you guys can really nurture them along and make them great agents.
Definitely.
So, and I want to dive into that, because I think there's a lot of value there in what you do to help those agents grow their business. That's why, obviously, we're promoting this show and hoping to give value there. So, that being said, what is your goal? What are you guys trying to accomplish? In the near future?
So I would say this year it's a transitional year, but we still want to grow our business and our team. I'd like to add at least one new team member each month, and we're going to focus on trying to hit 70 million in volume.
Nice.
70 million. Nice. Okay. Awesome. That'd be pretty impressive. So what? How are you going to do that? What's your number one, or your number one or two initiatives that you're going to take?
Well, I think to hit those kind of numbers, you need a good lead generation system. You need good training, and you need a plan and to execute on the plan.
Okay. All right. So a lead generation system and a good plan. What was the other one?
To execute the plan.
To execute the plan. To really follow through.
Right.
There's a lot of people that come up with plans and they, a month or two in, they kind of just let it go by the wayside. So it's really to have those goals in front of you every day. People who write down their goal and have it in front of them, they 90% more likely to hit that goal.
Absolutely. I love it. That's an awesome tidbit right there.
I think so too. I know we've all been guilty in the past of having a lot of great ideas and a little lacking on the implementation. So definitely helps to have those spelled out and focus on those every single day.
So one thing that we do as a team, over the last year, we implemented a day where we do a vision board. So we get together as a team and everyone builds out their vision for the next year and the next 5 years. And
Nice.
they put it on a big board and they keep it right at their desk in their office so that they see it all the time.
Cool. Let's dive into that. So how often do you do that?
I guess we just started it, so we're probably going to do it twice a year.
Okay, twice a year. All
Yeah.
right. And you get together and you have the whiteboards and everybody pulls out their computer and
We do it old school. So we have an actual poster boards and we bring in magazines, and if they have any specific pictures that they want to put on their boards, they'll bring them prior to. But we have stacks of old magazines. We literally cut and paste and literally put it on an old poster board and put it right at their desk.
Okay. So well, first off, before I ask you any more questions, I want to open it up to the crowd and everybody watching. If you have any questions at any time, go ahead and ask it in the comments section, and we'll ask Mike for you that question so we can get you an answer. Okay. Now on the vision boards, I know they're putting their vision, but what's the vision look like? Can you explain a little bit more? I mean, are we talking a 5-year, 10-year? Do you care? What direction do you do?
We really try to focus on
A year.
1 year out and then 5 years out.
Okay, 1 year, 5 years.
Yeah, and we want to make it realistic. So I don't want people to put stuff on their board that isn't achievable within that 5-year period. So if everyone has a focus on 1 year and 5 year, when you say that that's been the best strategy for us.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing when we did it that I thought was nice is it kind of, from a team culture standpoint, got us all to know each other better, because you're not typically day to day sitting talking about those things with each other, so sitting down and doing those vision boards, you saw what people were putting on there. It got the conversation started of what kind of things should be on there, and you kind of start to know your team a little better and what's really important to them and what's driving them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So as a team leader, it helps you too, not just because they're going to hopefully grow their business, through focusing on their vision, but how does it help you as a team leader in other ways, knowing their vision?
Well, knowing not everyone is money motivated. Some people are family. Some people are community. So you can take all the aspects of what their vision is and place them in the right role. So by knowing where they want to be in 5 years, you can help steer their career in the path that they really want to go in.
So you can steer the path in who really wants to go in?
Where they want to go.
There you go. Love it. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see with real estate team leaders and team owners and things like that is Like, how do I get my people to perform, right? They come up and they ask, like, you know, how do we motivate people, basically? And I think this is probably the number one missed thing, is that a lot of times we want a certain production out of them, and we focus on our why as a team leader instead of their why.
Yeah,
as an agent. So it says a lot about you right there.
Well, it's incredibly important because everyone's why is different, and I can't push my why on the team. I have to push their why.
Okay.
So
give examples of how do you plug it in? In what areas are you saying, okay, you know, let's take a look at your vision board. You remember this or that? Give me some examples. First off, what is on their vision boards?
Well, you know, some people are motivated by money. It's a number of transactions. Some people who aren't necessarily motivated by money, it might be community involvement, and they want to get, you know, they want to be involved in the community. So they might want to donate some free time and help other people. Some people are very good at training other agents, and they don't necessarily want to be the multi-million-dollar producer. They might want to do a couple transactions a year, you know, and help the team grow. So you kind of take everyone, what they're really good at, and implement them in the right roles, and the team will grow by itself. So we feel that that's been really helpful in growing our team.
Did we lose him? Hang on, Doug. We might have lost you if you can hear us.
We have a connection issue.
Should I stop and get back on?
Can you play it from here? Maybe we can. Transactions a year,
like delete,
you know, and help the team grow. So.
What happened? Did we lose them? Because our camera's still open.
Try to reconnect. We're in the show, but I can hear you. Can't hear Doug.
Yeah, I think we lost Doug, you guys.
We think we lost Doug. So hopefully they will be back soon. We can see some people are asking some questions. So let's go through and answer some of these questions. I don't know if they're logging back on, but let's go over. I see Jill Barclay. What are your 2 best lead generation sources? What do you spend for leads? Well, that's a tough question. So over the years, we try everything. So I think the best sources has been our Commissions Inc. platform that we use. And the Commissions Inc. platform allows us to generate leads from multiple sources. The actual source that's been the #1 for us has been Google, Facebook, and Zillow. So I know that's 3 lead sources, but a lot of people like Zillow, and Zillow in the past has been great. But I noticed over the past few years, it's been cost prohibitive. So the leads are pretty good, but the return on investment has been going down. So hopefully that answers your question about leads. And currently we spend in excess of $10,000 per month on leads for the team.
All right, cool. Now
Oh, yay.
I'm seeing the questions roll in. I love it.
I went through and was answering some while you guys were where we lost connection.
Yeah.
I think we were just hanging out in the lobby or something.
Like Dustin said, it doesn't work by the pool. Right? Yeah. So, all right. So Skylar had some questions too. So did you answer Skylar's question with
Nope, we didn't get to that one yet.
All right, let's see. He said, with consistently expanding your team, how do you hold yourself accountable to executing your plans and goals with production, along with everything else that you have going on? What's your accountability look like? Good question.
You know, honestly, I could always do a better job of holding myself accountable, but we do have one-on-one mentoring sessions with each of our team members. And in each one of those sessions, we talk about our individual goals and what we're doing to achieve those goals. So on those days, it makes me hold myself more accountable when I'm holding the team accountable. Accountability is the most important strategy for success in growing a team and achieving your numbers that you want to hit.
Absolutely.
I hope that helps to answer that question.
And it almost feels uncomfortable to even use the word accountability sometimes. And then I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with that word accountability.
It does. And not everyone really likes the accountability aspect of it. So when you do your vision boards, you can kind of see who likes to be held accountable. There's some people that really want the accountability, and there's some people that really don't. So I kind of structure it to, you know, I know some team members, they absolutely don't like to be micromanaged. So we really don't micromanage those people. And other people that really need to be micromanaged, we try to put an emphasis on helping them manage their day-to-day tasks.
I mean, there's a couple people on our team that have specifically said, like, if I'm not here, call me and ask me why I'm not here, you know? So there's people that want to hear from us and want us to be questioning why they're not in the office or what calls they made. And then there's other people that don't want that so much.
So with that being said, does most of your team work from the office on a day-to-day basis?
No, I would say the way our team is set up, we do lead days. So we always have one dedicated agent at the office all the time. Myself and our admins are pretty much at the office most days. Mm-hmm. I am still very active in the field. I love buying, selling, and working with clients. So I try to be out of the office about 3 days a week.
Okay, you try to be out in the field 3 days a week. Are you going? Is the plan to continue doing that, or
it is? It is. So over the last 10 years, I've realized that what I love to do is still working with clients. So as the team grows, I will probably hire a manager that kind of will eventually take over. I wouldn't say take over, but help me manage the team a little bit better. Okay. So I realize my weakness. My weakness is not necessarily being the manager of the team. I really love to get out there and do the sales.
I think the positive, though, on the flip side of that, of him still being so active in sales, is Mike is one of the most hands-on team leaders that I know, that like the clients still can access him easily, and he still is willing to go on, you know, listing appointments or client appointments with our new team agents. So I think it's nice that agents can join our team, especially being new, and they have someone with Mike's experience and expertise to take them on appointments. And he's not taking them to take the listing from them. He's taking them so that he can coach them in the right way to make sure that we secure those listings and that they're building their business.
Okay. Awesome.
Great support system. Love it.
Yeah, I do love that. So let me, if you guys don't mind, I want to dive into the recruiting side, because you mentioned a couple of things there that I think would be of huge value to everybody watching. In regards to recruiting, you mentioned that your goal was to hire one agent per month.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you do that? What's your process?
So I would say we constantly have ads out on Indeed. So we always have a running ad on Indeed. We also have them on Facebook all the time. But I think the number one, we have people that contact us because I think we do a very good job connecting with the community. So we constantly have people asking us if we're hiring on Facebook. You know, they'll call me direct. We probably get agents, at least 2 or 3 agents per month, that just contact us and asking us if our team is hiring and what the qualifications need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So your number one source is connecting with the community. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, we really try to be involved in all aspects of the community. We do a lot of, I don't know.
A lot of the area we're in, right in downtown Rochester, where our new building's going to be located, they do a lot of community events, and we just participated in the sidewalk sales that they do. So they have a big 3-day event. All the storefronts have tents out. They hand things out, give out information. The actual ones that are retail stores have sales and stuff like that. So even with that, it was really cool just to be there and everyone realizing that, hey, this is our new building. We're out front of our new building. This is where we're going to be. We're doing real estate, you know, and I think it helps get our name out there. And then people are like, oh, we saw your signs at this house down the street from us and this and that. It just really helps get our name out there. So I think with people that are either thinking about getting into real estate or are already in and looking for a different avenue, it's helping get our name out there in a way that's not so, you know, in your face, come join our team.
As a team, we really try to help the community too.
Yeah.
Like just this past week, we've been collecting school supplies. So
for a local charity that does a school supply drive and things like that. So we're going to deliver those next week. And
I think last year we donated, I think, what, 25 backpacks filled with school supplies, so that all of our team members, we all contributed and really gave back to the community. And I think that's what makes us different from a lot of teams. Like we donate our time into the community and we enjoy doing it. And I think the community sees that and they respond.
Okay, awesome. So you're attracting agents a lot too through that.
Yeah, and not only agents, but a lot of buyers, sellers, and it's just by being very involved in the community. You get agents, you get, yeah.
It never fails when you're doing good things happen for you, right? So
now that you're recruiting one agent per month, you're using the hiring sources, Indeed, and that, and then you're also out in the community. Now, the agents walk through your door. What makes them want to be there?
Well, I think part of it is our team culture that we're trying to build, and we're always constantly working on team culture. One of the, I just happen to have it sitting on my desk, is the culture code.
Oh, nice.
So great book. Another one that we encourage all of our team members to continuously learn new things, read, constantly train. So the culture that we build, you know, we do a lot of events as a team, at least 4 or 5 per year. And then we also do little side trips. And I think we just make it interesting. We make it a fun environment. It's not just work.
Oh,
You're building a whole culture.
Okay. Side trips, what do you mean by that?
We tend to go to baseball games. You know, we're in
outings.
We're in a very active community. So I think in the very near future, we're going to try to plan a day on the lake. Okay. We've got another one coming up where we're doing the it's a pedal tour via water, and that's in, I don't know, a neighboring community where 12 of us can get on a boat and you paddle around from destination to destination.
Yeah.
They may or may not be a bar involved.
Love it. All right, so you know that you're mentioning or you're talking about an element that I often see missing. I mean, there's some top performing teams that don't have culture. They're more of a churn kind of agency where they're just mass hiring agents and mass, you know, agents are leaving their company in mass exodus. So the top teams though that I see out there that I've coached with and met and explored that have awesome culture are the ones who are not scared to not just keep business and personal. There's actually a mixture.
Yes. I think it's very important, you know, and if you recognize somebody that doesn't fit on the team, it's best to get that member off as soon as possible. And unfortunately,
you got to eject them out like a virus so they don't infect the rest of your team.
It's really like a cancer.
It is. Been there, done that.
You know, and over the years, you know, I'm the nice guy, so I tend to keep some people around way too long.
Something like
when I know the right thing to do is to let someone go, and it's very hard when you have like one of your top producing agents, but I've learned that they're holding back the team from other people being the top performers because of the way that they're treating people.
Yep. They don't have the right mindset.
And their attitudes, and it's just, you know, you got to really build a team that wants to work together, and working together is the key component.
I think what's hard too, say it is, you know, a top producer or someone who's been with the team for a long time. It's hard because you obviously have that relationship with that person. But I think then as you bring on new agents, they kind of follow suit. Yes. And if that's how this person's being and they've been with the team so long and they are a top producer, this or that, they think that that's, you know, that's okay and that's the way to be. And then it's hard to build the right culture.
Absolutely. So they're going to model that person. Like, this person's crushing it. They're a top producer. This is probably how I should act if I want to be in that position, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How did you design your culture?
You know, I would say that there wasn't a specific plan, but by reading a lot of good books, like the one I showed you here, The Culture Code, you know, that's a great book if anyone's looking to build a team around culture. I would start with doing research online and reading lots of books. And, you know, you can never read and learn too much about culture, because some of the best companies in the world were created around culture.
Did you read the book Built to Last as well?
I have. You know, that's another one of my favorites. You know, and I don't just read them once. I go back to them continuously. So I think it's very important. And I think we
lose them again.
I think they froze up. So let's go and take a look at if there's any questions that we need to answer while they're getting back with us.
We lost them again for sure.
Okay. They will be coming back.
That.
Okay, let's see.
What were those sources again for leads?
Okay, so the sources that we use Facebook ads, we use Google ads, and we use an extensive Zillow campaign. And what I said before was that the Zillow campaign is a little more expensive. And if you're a new agent or a new team, I would not recommend the Zillow. It really takes a while. You have to build up your profile. And if you're one of the weakest profiles in the market, you will be throwing your money away. So the only way that makes sense is if you have a very aggressive team and that you call those leads within 5 minutes. If you're not on them within 5 minutes, they move on to the next person. And those leads are now costing upwards of $200+ per lead, which is extremely expensive.
Dropping by. Can you hear us now?
I see that we have them back. Yes.
I don't know what to say. I'm embarrassed. This whole internet connection thingy. So.
I have to tell you real quickly, Michael commented and said he sounds a lot like you, Doug, which I just find funny because we always say that you and Mike are so similar.
Yeah, we became great. It's like looking in the mirror a lot of times when he's talking. Thank you. That's a compliment for me. Michael said tools and opportunities are very important in building a team. What do you think has been your key in your team's success?
I would say that the game changer was really implementing a really high-tech CRM system, which is Commissions Inc. You know, when we switched to Commissions Inc., I call that the backbone of our team. You know, we run everything through Commissions Inc. now. It does take a while to build that platform, but once you have it built, oh my God, that was the game changer for us.
Awesome.
I couldn't agree more. Love commissions, Inc.
That was yes, great question. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump back into culture a little bit more, because you got the people in the door, you've attracted them, but how do we dive into how you actually determine whether or how someone is a culture fit? And I mean, how do you go? What process do you go through there?
You know, when we implemented a very extensive interviewing process, which really seemed to help in our hiring. So I'll go into that just a little bit. So initially, I do not meet with them. I have our 3 admins that do an interview. And prior to doing that interview, we have them take a personality test. So we kind of know what their personality is going into the interview.
Yep.
And then we have a list of 5 questions that each one of our admins asks. Mm-hmm. And if we think it's a good fit from there, we move on and have them take a sales drive test. And if the sales drive test goes back well, I will come in,
then they meet with
and
Mike.
then I will interview them. If I feel that they're a good fit after they've done the initial interview with the team, they've done the sales force test or sales drive test, and they've done a personality test, and I like them, then I'll bring them back for a second interview and decide if they're a good fit. So over those multi-steps, it's not just me making the decision, it's all of my admins, and everyone looks to see if they're going to be a good fit for the team and the culture.
Nice.
So when your admins interview them, do they interview candidates on an individual basis, or is it a group style interview of several potential candidates at the same time, or what does that look like?
No, we do it one-on-one. Well, it's 1-on-3. So our 3 admins interview the one person, and they kind of gang up on them.
That's not true. No, I think
not scared after that.
Right. Yeah. I think what's nice though is Mike does tend to be the nice guy, nice to a fault, I say sometimes. So
I see the good in everyone.
And that's great to see the good in everyone, but I think it's good the way we've implemented this, because you have 4 different, you have multiple people meeting this person. Different people might pick up on different things, and you have more input on, if they're going to be the right fit for us or not.
And do you miss thumbs up before they go to Mike?
Well, our team is so actively involved, and so if a team member is not going to get along with an admin, they're not a right fit for the team. So it's very important that all the admins meet and kind of approve this person prior to, because I think that's part of the whole culture fit.
Don't get me wrong, he overrides us sometimes.
He does? Okay.
But typically, if everybody agrees, then don't you think that you're all involved with making sure that not only you're bringing the right person in, but you're all dedicated to making sure that that person is successful, right?
Yes. Yeah, we all have a hand in everyone's success.
Awesome.
Love it. Whitney had a great question. You want to know, what platforms do you use for the sales test and personality test? Do you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I'll let Kristin talk.
So the personality test, we use the Tony Robbins disc profile one. And then the sales test, I think the company, and I can get back to you guys in comment, I think it's called Sales Drive LLC or something like that. But I can double check that, and I'll put it in the comments afterwards so they know. The
disc test is free. Mm-hmm. The Sales Drive test is about $200 per person to take that test. So we don't send it to everyone. Not everyone makes it to that round. That's kind of why we go through the different phases, so that we don't waste money on somebody that we know isn't a good fit.
Yeah, we might have to implement that. I don't have that step in there. I got other steps in our process, but I like that one. I have to research that. For anybody wanting to do Tony Robbins thing, all you got to do is Google Tony Robbins disc personality profile, and you'll get it.
Correct.
It's free. All right, so you've got the agent that's a culture fit. You've hired them. Now you got all these newer agents on your team, or even the experienced agents. What are you doing to make them their best?
You know, I think we really focus on training, and our training, we do a lot of hands-on training.
Mm-hmm.
So we also recently implemented training for 2 hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays, on top of our hands-on one-on-one training. I am very involved as a team leader and love to go out on appointments. And I think that the ultimate best training possible for any agent is right in the field. So making them go on listing appointments, making them go on buyer consultations. Prior to that, they really need to be on the phone. They need to learn scripts and role playing and hours and hours and hours of calls. You know, I think that new agents should, we have a database of 16,000 leads, and at any given point, we can throw them into that database and have them start making calls on the older leads that, you know, you don't want them to call the hottest leads, but you'll let them practice on the ones that are, you know, 300, 400, 500, 600 days out.
Okay, love it. Yeah, they're not going to screw up much if they're going after that.
They've got to learn somehow, so you got to just throw them in.
Yeah. I threw 2 new agents in yesterday. They're like, we'll be ready next week. I'm like, I think today's a better day. Let's get in there and
well, the number one thing is that people are just scared to start making the calls. But once they, you know, the best thing is just, you sometimes have to stand there and watch them, or they won't do it.
Yeah.
They just got to get, once they made 5 calls, then they're fine. It's just getting them to make those first 5 dials.
Nailed it.
Right. I think the great thing about being on a team, though, is, you know, I told one of our recently new agents, I'm like, just make the calls. I said, if you know how to just talk, doesn't have to be real estate. If you know how to talk well enough and someone asks you a question you don't know, talk your way through it, get off the phone, pick up the phone and call me and say, okay, what now?
And that leads in, you know, conversations. You know, you don't have to be the #1 salesperson, but you do have to know how to have a conversation. And that's why the next book, Fierce Conversations.
Oh, love it. All right, dropping bombs. There's another good book, Fierce Conversations. You write that down.
Yeah, and you can't.
Right here.
Okay.
You can't just. You really have to build a rapport on the phone. You know, a lot of agents. What I've noticed is that when I'm just listening to other agents, and I'm not saying agents that are on my team, but agents in general, they get a lead. They like, oh, they want to go see this house. And they're like, all right, what time do you want to see it? And then they say 2 o'clock on Tuesday. Then they hang up the phone. I'm like, that is the worst thing they could have ever done.
Yeah.
They should have always follow a script.
Yep.
Want to know the who, what, where, when, and why of every person that you talk to.
Absolutely.
It drives me crazy on how many agents lose buyers because they didn't get in a deep conversation with them and figure out their why.
Yeah. We could spend all day just on that, the why part, right?
Yes. Yeah. Who, what, where, when, and why.
Since we're dropping books, Start With Why is another amazing book that you should read. Check that out if you're watching. Let's see. So you want to ask one? Go ahead.
Well, I saw that Linda Shane had a question way back that we never addressed.
All right. Okay, there it is. Linda had a question. Good morning, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
What does your lead days look like? How does an agent qualify to work lead day?
Okay, I'll let Kristin kind of answer this.
So the lead day, we just actually implemented that earlier this year, end of last year. And basically what we do is it's basically almost like floor time. So we do a month calendar. Everyone sends me their availability, you know, prior to the month starting. We do a calendar. Everyone's assigned to lead day. They have to be in the office from 9 to 5 on those days that they're assigned. But during those days, they get the first shot at all of the leads coming in. So those leads go directly to them. We utilize the pond system, which I know that's a whole other story if people don't know what that is, but it goes directly to them. It doesn't go to the pond, so they're the only agent that has the opportunity to call them. They have to call them within 5 minutes. If they don't, it does go to the pond. If they do call them within the 5 minutes, it stays with them we give them 7 days to convert that person into a client. So they have 7 days to be making the calls, text, emails, trying to work that person, building that relationship, building the rapport, trying to set up an appointment. And if they get it, then it stays with them. If they don't within the 7 days, then we do throw it back to the pond so other agents have an opportunity to convert it.
Okay.
Yeah, our next Facebook Live should be all about the pond. That is whole conversation.
Yeah.
We could definitely talk about that. Dustin was wondering if you could share the ads that you run on Indeed and Facebook at some point.
We would have to, we can send it to him. So if he wants to draft us his email address, we could easily send that over to him.
And we kind of have started doing more of a broad ad that's kind of like, hey, we're hiring for all positions. That way we're capturing everyone. People get with us and want to know what we're hiring for rather than just saying we're just hiring a listing agent or we're just hiring buyer's agents, or it kind of captures everyone in one.
I think we're always hiring for all positions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always looking for talent.
Absolutely.
Good talent. You should never pass up good talent.
Love it. You're always hiring, right? Always be hiring, right? I love that. So Michael said, established relationship. He was referencing when we were talking about the why, I believe. Establishing a relationship. That's so important. So now you said you do a lot of hands-on training. Does the company that you're with, do they offer any training, or would you be willing to talk about that?
Oh yeah, they offer extensive online training, about 25 live training events each week, which they have stuff for the beginner agent all the way up to an experienced veteran like myself. So if I get bored, I'll go in. Not that I get bored often, but I'm always looking to expand my knowledge. So I'll go in and check out, one of their farming videos, or they have conversations with icon agents every Friday, where you can see what other top agents around the country are doing and what they're doing differently. So you can always pick up things that somebody in a different market is doing that you haven't even thought about.
Wow, that's so powerful. I'm sorry, that's a mastermind, it sounds like.
It is, correct. So
when you say we go in, where are you going into?
We go into a cloud campus, which it's an online virtual world, which is really high tech. That's one of the things that I really like. You don't have to be in the office. You can log in from your home. You can log in from your boat. You can log in from the beach. You can log in from anywhere that you want, and you're literally in a live training class all the time. And I think we lost.
I think we lost them again.
I think we lost them again. So let's see if there's any other questions.
Did we lose you again, Doug? Oh, I just lost it.
Let's see.
And they are with that client. They have to be in the office. So Priyanka, you asked about on lead day, what if someone wants to go see a house and they're with that client and another lead comes in and they can't answer? We actually, so they have to be in the office. If they have to leave for any reason, whether that be a lead pops up comes up that wants to see a house right away, they have to find someone to cover that time. So whether there's another agent here that wasn't on lead day, but they say, hey, can you cover for me for an hour or two? Then that person has to take over. We never have the leads going to someone that's not here and available to answer.
And one of the important things, we really promote people to come into our office. So we generally will always have one or two other agents that are around and available. So Kristin does a double role on our team where she's both an admin and an agent. So if she's in, she could cover them for that 2 hours. We just don't want, we never want a gap on those live leads that are coming in, because they're so important to our business. And the way that technology is today, if you don't answer those right away, they just move on to the next agent. So I hope that answered your question.
She said thanks, so I think it did. Now I'm so glad that your internet is in Michigan is so much better than ours, because you're still on while we get kicked off for whatever. So all right, so we talked about recruiting, culture. I mean, man, we covered a lot of ground there, and we can have other segments. I definitely got to have you on as a guest, and we can just dive into that stuff so much more. There's just so many ways we can go with that.
Just real quick to answer Priyanka again, yes, we have all 7 days covered. We have someone on lead day, even on Saturdays and Sundays.
Another good question. Linda said, do you hire agents who have another job?
I do. Not everyone is able to transition into real estate from day one. It takes a good 6 months of reserve funds for an agent to get started, and I understand that a lot of people don't have that. So we are very flexible. I do like full-time agents better than part-time, but I think that in order to get started in real estate, it's not economically feasible for a lot of people that still have the potential and would be really good agents. So we're willing to take the part-timers and transform them into full-time. We also have a couple part-timers that, they're not really part-time, but they have, young kids and full family lives. But we always have a spot for those people on our team as well. We're not those mega teams that have the strict guidelines that you're going to be there from 8 in the morning till 6 at night. I just don't think that is a good culture fit, and I don't like that. I don't like to promote that on my team.
I get it.
So quick question on that note. If they are working somewhere and they intend to transition into real estate full time, what do you do to help them kind of map out that plan and set that hard deadline for themselves? Because we know if we don't give ourselves deadlines, things just kind of keep going, right?
I think that's part of the one-on-one mentoring. And when you come up from the beginning and build out their plan, and then the accountability, when you have one-on-one meetings with them either once a month or once a week, you can help them hold themselves accountable to make sure that they're doing everything that they need to maybe they need to hit 4 transactions and 4 sales in the next 60 days to be able to quit their job. And they have to do it, comfortably. We just had a team member who he was a full-time waiter, and he transitioned within 6 months. He quit his job. Mm-hmm. We have noticed too that when we bring on new agents, sometimes it makes a whole lot of sense to hire them as our ISAs. And we've had such good success with ISAs turning into agents. Yeah. When they're forced to make calls,
40
hours a week, they get really good on the phone really fast, and then they're begging for us to let them out of the ISA role and become an agent.
Well, because then they realize, well, hey, if I do make the calls and I'm sticking to this, like I'm making all these appointments for the rest of the team, I could be doing this for myself. So I think it's a good, a good window to see, like, hey, if I do this, this is what I can accomplish.
That's beautiful. You're giving them a trajectory, mm-hmm. a way to grow. Start here and go here. So something to look forward to, something to grow into. I love that. Yeah. We had what's up, Jay?
Hi, Jay.
So we had another question from Jill, and I think she asked something similar before, and I apologize, Jill, we didn't get to it. I want to go a different direction here after this question and talk about our customers. But Jill asked, did you have a split plan for buyer and listing agents?
No, on our team, ours is all the same. It's 50-50 split on everything, no exceptions, and that's just the way it is. I know some teams have all these different formulas that they do. Ours, we found that, you know, it's too hard to come up with all these different plans, and that really works. Our team members, we're very unique in that we allow all of our agents to do both buy-side and listing side transactions. We want them to be trained, well-rounded, and we want them to be the agent of choice from the start of the process to the finish. So we don't want to have them to switch from a buyer's agent to a listing agent. And I think that just is a better customer experience when you have one agent and you're not dealing with one and then you get switched over to the next.
Well, it goes back to the building relationships that we were talking about. You know, if they're working with them, whatever side they're doing first, if they're working with a listing or buying side, and then you want them to switch when they're ready to do the other side, you know, you've already built the relationship with that person. So why not have that person be experienced enough to do both and just handle it with them the whole way through?
Absolutely. Love it. And Linda had another question. Linda, I'm going to get to your question here in a minute. I want to take us down another path here real quick because we talked about our team and stuff like that. And to be quite honest, Sloan and I made this mistake before. We got dinged on this by someone, I forget. I think somebody made a comment on one of our previous videos, and they said, okay, this is all cool, what you guys do for your, you know, as a team and things like that, and you know what you do as agents and how the company's so great. But they go, so what do you do for your customers? And I mean, we're on Facebook Live, and I've got a lot of people watching that would be, you know, customers, not agents. So
yeah.
As to provide value to those people, you know, what are the things that you're doing from like a customer service standpoint or service standpoint to set yourself apart and provide value for people that other agents may be missing on?
Well, I'll start off by answering this. I think that by having our team and the way that we're structured, where we have somebody on call 7 days a week, you know, it's not uncommon for me to answer a phone call from a CEO at 12 o'clock at night. I received text messages from one of my past clients at 2 in the morning, and I instantly picked up the phone and called him. He's like, "What are you calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning?" I said, "You just texted me, so I'm answering your questions." So it's going, you know, my wife may not like it all the time, but if I'm up and available, you know, I will answer the phone. You know, I'll send a text message back. It doesn't bother me. I truly love what I do, and it really shows because, you know, we put the customers first. And you can't always do it. You have to take your free time. And, you know, the way that we have the team structure is that any one of us can feel confident that we can go on a vacation and we will have the whole thing covered. Like, I just got back from a vacation. I got in yesterday at 4 o'clock. I didn't have 1 minute of the time that I was gone where I felt that my whole business wasn't covered from start to finish. So that is a great feeling to have.
Okay. Do you want to add to that, Kristin?
To kind of piggyback off what he was saying in terms of for the customer, it's great that we as the agent don't have to worry about it. But I think it's not, I know when I go on, you know, listing appointments and, you know, buyer consults, I think a lot of people still in the general public, don't fully grasp what it means to have a real estate team as who you're working with. So from the customer standpoint, I try and explain to them those same benefits Mike was just talking about, but how it benefits them. Like, hey, if I leave on vacation tomorrow, I'm going to give you Mike's phone number. Mike's going to be able to help you, even though I might be in Florida or wherever I might be. We have the administrative staff. So we have Jess, who's our listings coordinator. So if someone's getting ready, you know, Mike just signs a listing contract, but then that person has a bunch of questions a couple hours later and Mike's in another appointment, they can talk to Jess and she has all those answers for them. She runs that whole listing process. So I just feel like it's beneficial to the customer because they always have someone to talk to at every step of the way, whether it's another agent who's covering for their direct agent or whether it's the administrative staff that, you know, 90% of the time has the same answers that Mike might have or I might have or any of our agents might have.
We're not a 9 to 5 team. We're a 24/7.
Oh, okay. I
Excellent.
Love it. So, as a customer, how does a customer know of yours that, or whether they're yours or whatever market they're in? How do they know whether they're talking to a good agent? Because I'll give you an example. Because in our market, for instance, the average agent here sells like 1.4 homes a year or something, like that. What does a customer need to do to know?
I think that the experience in itself will show. Just talking to an agent on our team and the way that we're trained, we know all aspects of the transaction, and they can ask us questions, regarding community. We're just very well trained and versed in all aspects of real estate, and it really comes through in our conversations. So
back to training.
Yeah, I also think that it kind of ties back to, what's the benefits from the agent side and the customer side. So we were talking about, having a strong Zillow profile for us is good because it gains us more business. But I think on the customer end of things, we really strive to keep our profile really active, getting reviews on it. We post all of our past sales. So in this day and age, when everyone's just Googling, hey, the Blake team, they Google the Blake team, one of the first things that's going to pop up is our Zillow page because it is so strong. And we have reviews on there. I think we're up to about 300 reviews on there, and all of our past sales are there. So they can very easily look without even talking to us and see what kind of homes we've sold, what kind of price range, and the reviews and experiences other clients have had with us.
What I really like about these the reviews is that we as agents, we can't take down negative reviews, and so it's a very real. If you do research, the Zillow reviews, they are probably the best source of finding and attracting agents, because you can literally go through. You will have negative reviews. You will never 100% make everyone happy, and realizing that, and if you get a bad review, the best thing to do is respond to it, be honest, and give a good response, and the customers appreciate that. If you have all 5-star reviews and no negatives,
looks fake.
It is fake,
yeah.
Because it's not possible to 100% please everyone. And when you get a bad review, it's a learning experience. So you learn from maybe something that your team is lacking, and you can change it rapidly. So I treat it as a good learning experience for everyone.
All right, really cool. So Linda actually had a couple questions. She wants to know, how do you, or what do you pay a new agent who's acting as an ISA?
So we have a salary of $24,000 a year. That's correct, right? Mm-hmm. And then we do. I always have to.
It's the same as you two. You'd have to ask you, Lona.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So base salary, and then we do a commission. So our commission structure, and they get paid that on the closing. So hopefully that answers your question and how that works. It seems to be a very good plan. We like to have our new ISAs put a commitment of a minimum of 6 months. And we do allow, which we're a little bit unique, we allow our ISAs to also do transactions. So they're allowed to hold open houses to generate their own leads. They're not allowed to take the leads as they come in. First, give out 2 leads to every team member, then they can take 1. They can have 2 active clients at any given time. And I do notice that those ISAs, they're doing as many deals, just allowing them to have 2 clients at a time as the rest of the team.
Okay. Are your Linda want to know, are your admins licensed?
What was that? You broke up a little bit.
Are your admins licensed agents or licensed realtors?
We try to have all of ours as licensed. If they're not licensed, we get them licensed quickly.
Okay. And here's a really good one from Jill. She said, what little things did you change, or what things did you change to multiply your volume, or what changes are you making? And I want to add to that, like, how does the company that you work for, how does it tie into that?
So as a company, so I look at the company that we're with now. It's very easy to recruit new agents. We have a great structure and a multiple. So an agent on our team can earn income in multiple ways. They aren't earning income by just selling. They can recruit other agents and earn income. They can take 5% of their commission that they earn and buy stock at a discounted price. So there's so many different facets to being able to recruit new agents.
And I also think with this company, to multiply the volume, because so much of it is cloud and web based, we're able to recruit agents and add volume in other areas that in the past we may have not been comfortable branching into, because we would have, say, needed another office building in that area. Whereas now with the new company, we're able to start doing that and adding volume to our team in areas a little bit further outside of where we might have been comfortable going before.
Ah, love it. So you're able to expand a lot easier.
Yeah, so if I wanted to start another team, or even a division of my team in northern Michigan, say Glen Arbor or Traverse City, where I was just this past week, I could do that tomorrow. You know, being that the main office is virtual, I don't have to have a brick and mortar, in that location. My agents can literally be in the cloud, and I can grow a team in virtually any market at any given time.
Okay. What other changes? Did you make any other changes? I mean, before we went on air, you were mentioning something else that you're getting ready to do, or you just started doing.
We just, one of the things that we're looking to do to grow listings, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but we're taking it back old school and started to do 11 new farms. So in these farms, we're going to take it a little bit more high tech and not all traditional letters and postcards and door knocking. We're going to create Facebook pages for each farm and develop a database and try to collect all of the, obviously, addresses, phone numbers, but we really want to get their email addresses. And there's some direct mail response cards where you can get their email addresses. But
I think we're doing some things too, coupled with that, to still get us out, because again, tying the community back into it. So for the 4th of July, we went out and we put flags by everyone's mailbox, and that got a huge response. People really liked that. We were out there. There was people thanking us, honking the horns as they were driving by, So I think that gets our name out there and people actually see our face. So then when they do get, say, an email from us or that postcard from us, they're tying it back to the real life experience as well.
I think on 4th of July, we had 5,000 flags out.
Ooh, wow.
That'd take some time.
Keep in mind, Mike was gone, so we did his. He was not out in the 90-degree weather putting his flags out.
Yeah, and I think in Michigan we had one of the hottest days.
Yes.
And we tried to do it like 2 days before the 4th of July, and yeah, I just happened to be gone.
Conveniently.
So we'll do stuff like that on the 4th of July and Memorial Day, where we'll go out and have our Flag Day, which is, we have a very good response to it. It's not going to make phones instantly ring, but it's the recognition in the community where they start to recognize your name. When they think about buying or selling, we want the first name that they think of is the Blake team. So that really helps.
So I had a question on our previous subject. We were talking about you guys expanding your team throughout Michigan and things like that. But can you tell us you know, what about expanding even outside of your state? Does your company allow that?
It does. You know, it's as easy to expand in the state as it is outside of the state. I'm really thinking about opening up a team division in Southern Florida, kind of close.
Oh.
We'd be honored to have you, bro.
And even for us, I mean, even in another country is possible with this company. I mean, we're neighboring with Canada, and we could start recruiting agents in Canada and making a Blake team division there if we wanted to, with the opportunities we have with this company.
We're only 45 minutes from the border, so if we wanted to, it's wide open space for us.
Nice.
We're a little over an hour, and I want to keep these to an hour, so we respect everybody's time. And I know you guys got to get on to appointments. But one last thing here before we leave. What would you say your number one secret to success is?
Well, I really it all goes back to hard work. You know, when I am loving what you do. So putting a plan on paper and executing and being a hard worker. You know, I don't think that I'm the smartest person out there, but I'm one of the hardest working. You know, I don't mind working 7 days a week, 3 weeks in a row. You know, it just, when you love what you do and you work hard and you have a plan and you execute on it, you will succeed.
Yeah. Well, you say you're not the smartest person, but don't you have like 5 patents or something?
I have a couple.
You're a pretty smart cookie.
Yeah, I don't know. You might be a little bit smart. All right. Well, guys, any last advice for anybody out there, like that's thinking about starting a team, for instance, or that runs a team?
You know, I think that if anyone out there is considering starting a team, they really need to do the research, come up with a plan. You know, the planning part of it is essential. And sometimes it's not the best thing for you to do is start a team. Running a team is a lot of work, and it doesn't always. Sometimes I think that looking back at it, if I joined a good team, I might have been happier and I might have made more money, because being the team leader is not the position that everyone wants to be in, and that you have to look at yourself. Do you want the responsibility of all the other team or all the other team members? And you really have to look at yourself to see if that's something that you truly want to do. And if you do, you know, I would highly recommend contacting good teams in your market. And, you know, I'm an open book. I don't care if you work with my company or another company. I share my success with everyone, and I just think it's a good thing to do. You know, there's enough business to go around for good agents.
Awesome. I want to just tie off on that. I think the best leaders, right? The best leaders feel the most pressure because they feel the most weight on their shoulders, and they directly correlate with each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have one last thing I think to kind of touch on. You asked, you know, why we think we're successful, and I do truly think that a big reason Mike has been successful in his career when he started, and even once he started his team and getting us to where we are at now with some of the recent changes we've made, is he's not afraid to take a risk. And I think if you're not afraid to take a risk, I think a lot of people sit back and stay with where they're comfortable because of fear, probably. Mm-hmm. And, you know, being afraid of change and fear and stuff like that. And I think that Mike has always kind of been on the forefront of new things, and he's not afraid to try new things and take new risks. And he doesn't let what, you know, other people's opinions of him might be scare him off from it. If he's done his research and he feels confident in it, he's not scared to take that risk and to go. And just being part of his team and knowing that about him, I'm confident in the changes that he makes for our team because I've seen that him taking certain risks over the years have paid off for him.
I have seen firsthand that Mike is not afraid to fall on his butt and take it.
Literally.
Save that for another conversation. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. There was tons of value added there, I believe.
A lot of value.
And
if you wouldn't mind, someone asked, I think it might have been Michael, when we're done, would you just drop the names of the books that you mentioned in the comments so everybody has access to that?
We got like 50 comments on there. So if you wouldn't mind helping us answer those questions, we'll probably want to questions after that. I mean, obviously you'll be able to answer them because they're asking to you as well. So thanks again for coming on. And I want to get you guys on here more because this mastermind is so valuable to people. And you know,
All
right.
Yeah. Thanks again.
All right. Bye, guys.
Refresh your day. Talk to you soon.